Alright, after this small little break, we're gonna start with F-Zero GX by Felissa, all tracks. I wish her the best of luck.
Okay, am I live? Okay, hello everybody, this is F-Zero GX. Originally, we're gonna do story mode, that's been extended to all tracks in time attack mode. So, are we ready on time? Can I get a countdown?
3, 2, 1, go!
So, starting off with the classic Mute City, a pretty easy track. There's actually a more optimal vehicle to use here, but it's very hard to use optimally for me. So instead I'm just going to use Fat Shark, which is like super overpowered. Just that's a general rule of thumb. I'll kind of explain tricks as I go, but first, let me just explain some game basics. In the top right you'll see the red bar, that's my energy bar, which is both my health and my boost power. I get boost power on lap 2 of every track. And the boost is the strong point of Fat Shark. It's by far like the strongest thing in this game. For the most part I'm just going to be boosting a few slides. We'll get to that again later. There's also these boost pads, which are also one of the reasons Fat Shark is so OP, because he gets ridiculous speeds from them, as you will see in the next track. Generally, I'll try to hit them on the side, because for some reason, if you hit them on the edge, you get a larger speed boost from them. It's about a 10% speed boost for Fat Shark, but it differs per vehicle. The sub 1 is like not a bad time. Staff Ghost is like 59 seconds, so it could be better, but you know, we're beating the Staff Ghost. I'm pretty happy about that. So, Split Oval has a pretty cool jump. I'm gonna try to do it until I die. If I die once, I'm just gonna give up on it because it's kind of scary, and it doesn't even save much time. That's kind of what F-Zero is all about, like doing risky stuff to save a tiny bit of time. And in marathons, it's very difficult to balance that. Look, I can handle chat. Just curious how people are reacting. Yes, you can forward any questions that they have. I'll get to most things, hopefully, but there might be something I forget to explain. So, if you go fast enough, you can lift off here. And you can barely land on the track, and then you keep a lot of speed. So that's what the jump looks like. I'm not going to do it anymore. It's not worth the time loss for failing it. The spin attack helps you kind of lose your grip in such a way that you can turn a bit easier to land back on the track. You also have to be in the right position because of the way the track is sloped. If you're too high or too low, you'll just get a bad angle in the air. So once again, we get our boost power. I believe we get 5 boosts per boost bar, and then we can regenerate our energy by driving over these energy strips. Oh gosh. So I'm gonna try not to go too fast here, otherwise I'll lift off, and if I lift off unexpectedly, I'll definitely die. One thing you'll see me do is turn off the engine in between boosts. There's a small delay in between boosts in which you can't boost again. During that time, it's better to use the momentum throttle technique, which is letting go of the accelerator so you can... Oh gosh, this is the slowest MTRS ever. Barely didn't make it. So when you're holding the accelerator, the game tries to push your speed up to your normal top speed, and it goes both ways. So if you hold the accelerator when you're going super slow, you accelerate very quickly. If you're holding it when you're going super fast, you'll lose speed quickly. Whereas if you just let go of the accelerator, you will lose speed in a more linear fashion. What am I going to use here? Gallons, I guess. So ideally you'd be using Blackpool here, but it's super slippery and I will hit like a million walls, and that's no fun. Nobody wants to see that. So instead we have a custom vehicle, Gallon Star G4. This uses the best booster in this game for max speed settings, at least. Titan G4, which is like a super early unlock, yet it's like ridiculously overpowered. It's also only rated a B. Stats in this game are not quite accurate. Fat Shark, who has the best boost, also has a B-rated booster. it's a lie. So just ignore the stats and just... You have to try every machine for yourself to really figure out the stats, or look at a spreadsheet which has all the true values, which is very hard to read because it's a lot of numbers and like weird values. So at this point I should probably explain MTS, or turbo sliding in general. You'll see me face sideways, and when I'm doing that I'm strafing forward. And what that does is add a lot of speed, as you can see on my speedometer. Normally my top speed would be around 1100s. With MTS I can get a lot higher. With turbo sliding, which is the same thing except holding the accelerator, it's a lot easier to control, it's just a bit slower. It's the only downside to it, but I like to do it just for the safety of not hitting walls. And here we do a long MTS, it's so satisfying to land this. And then another one up here. If I lift off, I regain my grip, and you go straight forward, and that's what happens. So, now you've seen that, let's not do it again. And another thing I do is spam side attacks. Ganon Star gets... I just missed. That's cool. Ganon Star gets a lot of speed from side attacking, just in general, so instead of just normal turning and driving, if there's a turn, you'll probably want to side attack through it, if not MTS or TS. If I explain what the acronym is, it's turbo sliding, or momentum turbo sliding, if you're also using momentum throttle at the same time. Playing with MTS tends to be a bit messy. I try to keep it as clean as possible, but that also means I'm going a bit slower. I just don't want to hit too many walls, because hitting walls can really mess up your speed. Like if you drive headfirst into a wall, you just kind of do that. It's terrible. Don't do that. So yeah, this is the Sand Ocean venue, returning from the original F-Zero on SNES. Which actually used a different mechanic for boosting, if you've played that game. You just get one boost per lap. It lasts quite a while, gives a decent speed boost. And you do still have an energy bar, but since it's not used for boosting, it's just health and it regenerates a lot more slowly. Since you have to use it for boosting as well in this game, they up the recharge rate, so you can just drive over energy strips and you'll be back up to full in no time. There's also a little bump there. If you MTS over it, you can just like regain your grip and hit the wall. It's kind of bad. There's a lot of intricacies about the track. Like you need to know where certain bumps are, where you can MTS, where you shouldn't. It's a lot of track knowledge. It's a lot of just playing the game and get better. I'm not actually going to boost here, so if I do regain my grip, I at least shouldn't fly over. So we can at least finish this track in a reasonable amount of time. That is a form of MTS, but basically the rail just keeps... basically the rail just keeps you from turning, and so you get the full effect of your strafe just straight forward. It's super fast, but also it's very difficult to exit because you're facing to the side and you're right up against the wall, so it's generally only used at the end of a lap, with a few exceptions. There's actually one in the middle of the lap here that I can show off. One thing you can also do with that is a suicide finish. So if you're low on energy, you can make your ship explode during the rail slide, and if you do that, you can still finish if you cross the finish line within like a few seconds. When your ship is still bouncing around, you'll also see that if I don't mess up. And it's actually super fast, like just making your ship explode gives you such a big speed boost. So this is right before a turn, so you can do a little rail slide right there. Doesn't take too much energy. Ganon Star has a very strong body. It's B rated. Or is it A? Either way, it's strong. So, right here we're going to do something a tiny bit different. Instead of MTSing through here, we're going to quick turn through here. And then just keep boosting and try not to hit the walls. You kind of adjust with the shoulder buttons by having both of them held. You kind of start a drift turn, and then you can keep quick turning, and you can kind of just make micro adjustments. There's also an interesting thing about this game where if you're on a slope and you MTS through it, or just like generally drive near a wall, it doesn't register you hitting the wall. Like right there, I was right up against the wall. Like I should have just bounced off of it, but I didn't. So we can actually abuse that in a few tracks, this being one of them. That was not the fastest way to do it, but it's a decent demonstration. Right here, slow down so I don't fly off, because you're upside down, and if you lift off there, then you just kind of drop out of control. This game has great music. F-Zero in general has great music. I got a top 10 time, so that's actually slower. It would have been better if I was like 2 seconds slower and didn't get a top 10 time, but that's just the nature of this game. But yeah, every F-Zero game also has kind of their own music style. Like SNES is more jazzy, X has more like rock metal feel to it. This is more techno, and then the GBA games just use the GBA sound chip, so it's a bit more limited, but they still have some rockin' music. Some real bangers. So right here we are back to Fat Shark. Very technical track, which I'm already messing up, but that's cool. So you can make very good use of jump plates in this game. You'll see a better demonstration of that later. So this track has a lot of boost plates, which means Fat Shark is just the optimal choice here. One of Fat Shark's weaknesses is turning. It loses some decent speed from just turning with the stick or strafing. Thankfully, we can quick turn to kind of mitigate that speed loss. Quick turning is not quite an intentional mechanic, but it's also not really like a glitch. Basically, you just put your vehicle's grip in a weakened state by either holding both of the shoulder buttons or just tapping one of them, or just driving over a certain piece of track that has a weird slope. You can actually get a lot of unintentional quick turns, for example on Chapter 3, because there's slight downhill slopes, which affect your grip just enough to like not lift off, but it puts your grip in the right state to do a quick turn. So even if you just try to do a normal straight turn by using the stick and one shoulder button, you just quick turn. So if you're not expecting that, that's kind of bad, because you're going to be turning a lot sharper. Quick turning also makes this turn right here a lot easier, otherwise you would be struggling to hit this at such high speeds. Also the boost effect from your manual boost and the boost plate stack, which is pretty useful. So that's different from F-Zero X, where if you hit a boost plate while you're boosting, it would just cancel your normal boost and take over. Oh my god, I can never MTS on this track. Or MTRS. Rail slide. But yeah, in that game, it would just stop draining your energy and instead take over with the boost plate boost. It's okay. Enjoy your drink. I should have some. I should have one too. And I've got water right here. I'm good. Stay hydrated. It's so hard to find time in this game to do anything. I should just leave this open. Indeed. This game is made by Sega, specifically Amusement Vision, the people who made Super Monkey Ball. And it runs on the same engine too, just like very modified. Like you would not recognize Super Monkey Ball in this engine at all. Okay, that's never happened before. So I wasn't going quite fast enough or at a steep enough slope to make use of the glitch slope physics, so I just bump into the wall, go straight in the direction I'm facing, which is death. Let's try that again. Oh yeah, one thing about MTSing is that you have to exit it in a way that doesn't completely kill your speed. There's three ways to do it, kind of. The most optimal one generally for Ganon Star is just using two side attacks, like that. You can also do a quick turn out of it, which tends to be a bit better for Fat Shark. Or you can quick turn out of it, which is also kind of good for Fat Shark. It's kind of situational. I can't really explain why one would be better than the other. Ah, that's a shame. I hit the wall right before the MTS. So there's actually a vehicle that's better at MTS chaining than Ganon Star, but it's such a pain to use, and it's also very... it has a lot weaker body, so if you were to unintentionally hit walls, you're gonna be losing a lot more energy. By the way, cool emblems on the side. F-Zero. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do in this game. Like, you can make your own emblems in the editor, or someone's also made a PC application for it, so you can just convert a 64 by 64 PNG file into an emblem, upload it to your memory card, and it's done. It's super cool. Which is what I did, because I'm lazy. But some people legitimately just like go pixel by pixel, just recreating art. It takes a lot of patience that I do not have. I didn't even play this game when I was a child. I found it in 2013 when I saw one of my friends run it, and I was like, this is cool, I'm gonna run it. And so I did. Like, it just impressed me so much, and I have no regrets running this game. It's by far the speed game I put my most time into. I'm a bit rusty at the moment, but I'm usually not like too rusty at any given time. Like, I've put so many hours into this game that it's all kind of like autopilot. Oh gosh. Insects. So, as you can see right here, these little stairs take a lot of your speed. So, on Boost Lab, we're gonna go ahead and skip them. If I don't mess up the MTS, which I might do. I'll do my best. It's actually really cool. You can float pretty decently in this game, if you just level yourself out perfectly, like face horizontally. Also a nice big MTS here. Try to hit the boost plate. That was perfect. That was not perfect. But again, we can use some side attacks to get back up to speed, just a tiny bit quicker. I missed that. That's unfortunate, but hopefully I should still make this. So level out and continue diving. Much faster. And now once again we refill our energy. Thankfully it's right at the end of the track, so we can use the same boost pattern for both boost laps. Excuse me. Talking is very hard when you've been sick and tired. But it's cool. We're hanging in there. Like, shoutouts to all the volunteers at BSG. You're all awesome. We're putting in so much work. Like, we have people doing like way too long shifts just to keep the marathon going. Taking care of the sick people. But yeah, that's a pretty cool trick. Ooh. Almost hit the wall, that would have killed me. I cannot MTRS today. That's one thing with MTRS, you have to like kind of ease into it, or otherwise you just bounce off the wall and it's just terrible. Obvious rain, Fat Shark. So, I actually prefer using Ganon Star here, but it's faster to not load the garage data that has my custom vehicles. Instead, I'll just be using Fat Shark, so the track itself is going to be a bit slower, but I'm saving out on load times. To be fair, they're both very much viable on this track, just like Black Bull is, but again, Black Bull is super slippery and hard to use. And we have another rail slide right here, which we can exit just like that. Basically, for that to work, you want the wall to end in like a turn so you can face away from it. So you can exit it properly without bumping into it. Oh yeah, mine boosting. I should explain mine boosting. If you drive straight into a mine, it boosts you forward. That's basically all there is to it. It's better for heavy vehicles, and it's easier for wide vehicles, which thankfully Patchwork is both of these things, so there's some leeway on how centered you need to be to get a good mine boost. That's kind of bad. So if you were to use Ganstar here, you'd have to be a lot more precise about where you hit mines. If you hit it to the side, it'll just blow you to the side and not give you a speed boost, or if you really hit it to the side, you'll just bump into the wall as a result of the mine boost. One thing you don't see me do with Patchwork is MTS chaining, and that is once again because of the bad turning. I mean, it doesn't turn badly, it just loses a lot of speed from it, so when you're trying to exit an MTS and go into the next one, you're kind of losing all the speed that you gathered. So you'll only see me do like a single MTS and then just keep boosting. That is shift boosting. When you leave the track and get back onto it very quickly, and you get a massive speed boost, you'll see that later on in the run quite a bit. The first track of Diamond Cup is like shift boost heaven. My favorite track to run. Tied with Serial Gaps, which is after this one. They're both like super cool, and I'm both excited to show them and terrified because they're freaking difficult. And this is Long Pipe. Host, if you have anything to say, feel free. Do we have a host? If we don't have a host, I'll just kind of talk about this track for a bit. So there's a lot of boost plates here, so once again, Patchwork is optimal. And you kind of have to remember where they are and not lose where you are, because like it can be very disorienting being in this pipe, especially when you're being bounced around like this or sliding around. That was actually really nice. You can lose a lot of speed there, or you can get a shift boost, which is what happened there. So that's the first shift boost you see. One of them is not that impressive. When you do a lot of them in a row, that's when the fun begins. Did not want to have to use that boost, but I missed boost plates. And I want to keep my boost going so I can keep stacking my speed up higher, rather than use them like more spread apart. I'm not using up all my energy here just in case I hit one of those poles at the end, because that would lose me a lot of time. Because I would die. There's no respawns, you just die. You can actually enable respawns if you play in practice mode, but we are in time attack mode, so we do not have that luxury. So, is there a host at the station? Or some issues? Okay. I guess we'll have time for donations during... soonish. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Another reason to not use up all your energy. You can just be bad and hit those giant pillars that are spinning around. By the way, it's only the outside of the spinning pillars that hurt you. The inside is perfectly fine, so if you're just floating in a straight line, you'll go through them. But it is faster to dive down sooner. It's faster to be on the track than just floating straight forward. On the other hand, diving straight down is a lot faster than driving on the track. Oh gosh, I'm nervous for the next track.
Can I have one quick moment for a donation?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. We've got a €100 donation from
Yeah, seriously.
Shabby Orange. To make up for no penguin, get it done, best of luck. Your choice goes to where it goes. So, where do you want to have the €100?
I don't know which donation incentives are coming up.
Let me see. The upcoming bids.
If it's more convenient, we can do this after the run, so we can look through the list. Because right now we have serial gaps coming up, and I need to pay attention. Because there's going to be some crazy stuff happening. Starting off with a mine boost, I was meant to get 2 of them actually. Unfortunately, I missed the first one. Again, slightly more difficult using Ganon Star because it's a bit thinner. I'm gonna try to get this skip at least on 2 laps, and then the final one I'll play it safe because this track is dangerous. This is the track every beginner dreads, and it's not any easier with speed strats because you can do stuff like this. So the way that works is that you need to land to reset the last checkpoint you hit while on the ground. You hit the jump blades, and then you can keep floating for a bit longer. You need to be going to the left over that piece of the track. Dang. Because otherwise you miss a checkpoint in the air, then you skip too many checkpoints, and you just explode upon landing, which is very unfortunate. There's actually an alternative strat as opposed to mine boosting on boost laps. I'll try that once. If it doesn't work out, I'll just do this track normally, somewhat. It hurts me to do this track like without speed strats. It's too much fun. So this is kind of the intended path. And then you can land either on the top or the bottom. Top path is shorter. You can get a nice shift boost right there. You can hit the building and lose all your speed. At least I didn't fall down. You can just fall straight into the void. So let's see if I can get a good boost lap, otherwise safe strats. So if you do an MTS, that sets up your angle so you can float a lot further than if you were just going straight forward, and it's fast. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out, I missed the jump plates, so intended strats it is. At least you've seen the jump. You've seen what happens. That's all I wanted to show off. I'm still gonna do a trick on boost laps, and hopefully I'm not gonna regret it. I might. Yeah, so you can kind of go through that building if you hit it at the right spots. The hitbox is just super weird. I've put so many hours into this track, but I still do not understand how it works at all. So here's the trick that I wanted to do. It's the same thing, except you start a bit later on. We're okay. I'm good. Okay, safe strats on final lap. I just want to be done with this. My heart can't take this. Oh yeah, right there you can actually get a shift boost, and that can really mess you up if you're going too fast, and you just won't hit the track in time. That's a disgusting time, but whatever, we finished. Yep. For reference, my PB is 46 seconds. If you get the skip on all laps, get a shift boost at the end of the top road, and you're just playing well, you can do this so quickly, but it's so difficult. It's ridiculous. Let's actually use green here, otherwise you're not going to be able to see Fat Shark very well. Because this is Firefield, once again, returning from the original game. Firefield is the only venue that's in every single F-Zero game. It's the only one that's in Maximum Velocity from the original set. Maximum Velocity just kind of went its own way. That being the first game on the Game Boy Advance. The first of 3. So, shift boosting. This is a pipe, which means you can get some air at some points. And if you get just the right amount of air, you can get a shift boost pretty fast. I'm going for a double in just a moment, because there's a good setup for it. So hopefully that'll work out. Right here, don't go too fast or you'll get lifted up. One shift boost and miss the second one. Sometimes that happens. I'm not entirely sure if that means I'm going too fast, too slow. It might have been too fast, if I had to guess. I need another drink in a moment. My throat is not doing well. So, on boost laps, we have boost power, which means we can generally have a bit more freedom with where we go fast enough to get a shift boost. Unfortunately, that was too fast. If you get too much air, you just don't get the shift boost, unfortunately. And at that point, you're kind of just wasting time. And let's see if I can get the double setup this time, because it is really nice to get. Like, it saves a lot of time. Again, at least I didn't lose all my speed from the first one this time. That's a bonus. I've already been sick, so I think I should be immune now, but it's mostly just exhaustion at this point. And just like recovery from the sickness. And we're just gonna use the same setup as on lap 1, get a shift boost. And now we can lift off here, because we're going so... Never mind. I need to be going just a tiny bit faster. Okay, please give me the double setup. I'll intentionally slow down a bit by turning. And I missed the booster, so I still missed it. That's unfortunate. The double shift boost saves a lot of time. Basically what a double shift boost is just 2 in a row. Oh yeah, cylinder physics are silly. Don't worry about it. You'll see again on Cylinder Wave in the Final Cup. So yeah, in one of the early trailer videos for this game, this was actually in the lightning setting. It actually looked really cool, but then again, this also does, so I'm not unhappy with the results by any means. Right, on to the second track of Emerald Cup. Intersection, Emerald Cup is very much a fat shark kind of cup. So this track has a bit of a neat gimmick, but it's also very difficult. There's a precise double shift boost you can get, and from there you can keep chaining shift boosts and be going up to like 2,500 kilometers per hour. But it all depends on getting the first one and then just keeping the chain going. So let's hope I can show it off. There's 2 ways to go about it. One is just drive over a very specific spot. The other one is do an MTS and step. But you also have to be in the right spot. Right here I'm turning too much, I'm going too slow. That's 1 shift boost, not quite what I was after. Yeah, it's super precise. Too far to the left, you get too much air. Too far to the right, you just don't get air. Very precise. So Fat Shark losing that much speed from turning. It's best to quick turn there as opposed to side attack turn, like Gallant would do. Oh yeah, glitch cylinder or slow physics, which didn't really work out. Let's try that again. I was too far to the right and I was going a bit too slow. Now I have another chance of getting the shift boost, which to be fair we can also do on lap 3, or lap 2 and 3. But I kind of just want to get it on lap 1, because that's where it saves the most time, because you don't have boost power to like compensate for not having that speed. Being very gentle with my turns to make sure I have enough speed. There's 1, and then I missed the chain, which is quite unfortunate. That's not gonna work. Yeah. Like once you lose control, you're pretty much done for because of how much speed you lose from having to readjust yourself to the right position. That sucks. But that's a risk of trying to hit the dash plates at the edges. You'll just miss them. Okay. That's alright, I wanted to MTS there, but I will just bump into a wall. Better than dying. Doing the MTS there is in some ways actually safer than doing the intended strat, because this intended strat often results in you just like flying straight off. There's 1. There's 2. It's something. Let's hope we can do better on the next lap. Now we're going fast here, we can actually MTS. And just keep on boosting. And there we go, that's what that's meant to look like. You kind of just stick to the track somehow by MTSing. If you don't MTS there, you'll lift off and then you have the risk of flying straight into the woods. That lost a lot of speed from that drift. There's 1, that's not going to be enough. Oh well, you got to see a 2 chain, so that's good. Ideally, you would just get it consistently, but it's so precise. Usually, once you get a chain going, it's not too bad to maintain it. But if you lose control at any point, it's over. Okay, intended strats. I messed it up. I'm also getting quite hungry. I have hopefully not an hour to go. Should be like 40, 50 minutes. Chicken energy?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, chats. Alright, once again, Fat Shark. There's a lot of boost plates here, and not a lot of things that benefit Gallant's star. Also, not a lot of places to really MTS chain properly, which means you can't really use Quick Star, or well, Gallant would also benefit from that. So actually, this track has been very active recently in terms of competition for the world records. A new trick was found where you hit the wall here, that makes you lift off, and then you fall back onto the left side of that split path. Actually quite difficult. Oh yeah, shift boosting. So you can get a shift boost by lifting off the track thanks to a slope, or you can just straight up drive off, drive back on. Which is what I'm gonna try to do here. Kind of tricky to do, especially with Fat Shark. But I'll go for it, at least on lap 1. After that, we can play it a bit safer. I barely even pressed L there. It's okay, this is a generous estimate, because I'm rusty. Yeah, once I get past lap 1, I'm not going to go for that again. Because this is a very long track, which means if you die on lap 2 or 3, that's just incredibly painful. Zero is all about making sacrifices for the sake of the marathon. Like, if you see individual level speedruns of this game, they're absolutely insane. Right here, we have to slow down to not fall off, if we're going too fast. Once again, a lot of boosters here, which I'm gonna... I tried to hit both of those, but it's very difficult. If you quick turn too sharp, you'll bump into the wall. Don't quick turn enough, you will just miss it. That was meant to be an MTS, I'm not sure what happened there. I didn't lose my grip. That's what happened. I know what happened. So, right now we're actually going to take the right path. It's better to take the left path, but this path gives you more energy. Which means I can keep boosting and not be shift boosting, because that's dangerous. Once again, glitch physics right here. Okay. I held this for a bit too long. I died anyway, that's a shame. For all the tracks to give me trouble, it's double branches. So let's try again. Hopefully nail the shift boost first try and be able to move on. Thank you very much. Trying my best. While everything's on fire around me. That's also good to hear. Dude, night chat is like the most chill chat I've seen. Like, everybody's just tired, everybody's just like hanging in there together. Yeah, the best. Uh-oh. Oh. You baited me so hard. I thought they were gonna miss that sick jump. Ideally, you want to stick to the right wall there. It's a bit safer than the left one. Because as soon as the slope physics wear off, you'll just go to the left side and not bump into the wall immediately and die. Gosh, it's getting warm in here. This is also one way you have to slow down a bit. If you go too fast here, you'll fly off. If you go just the right speed, you can get a shift boost right at the end of the downhill slope. But it's dangerous, I'm not gonna go for that. I've died here enough. So right there I'm squeezing R to adjust myself back to the right. If I were just doing a normal MTS, just straight up holding L, I would be toast. I'd be hitting the wall, flying off, probably not getting the intended strats or the new strat that was found, and yeah, it will be over. Don't go too fast here either. Heck. That shouldn't have been too fast. Sorry about this, guys. I was expecting to be stuck on Diamond Cup. If I fail again, I'll move on. If I have time, I'll come back to it. Because we don't want to be watching this track for a lot longer. Okay, moving on. If you lose control, it's over. And Fat Shark has pretty bad grip, so it happens. Wouldn't be the first round that doesn't actually finish all tracks in a marathon setting. Although usually it's not double branches. I need a drink. So since I missed the double shift boost on Cylinder Knot earlier, let's see if I can get this one, because this one is sick. There we go. Now we're going fast. And with that, we can do a little jump here. So that's like the perfect start that you want. Bad, not so much. Sometimes your gravity gets a bit messed up when you exit the pipe. You're not really meant to leave the pipe. Normally when you drive over the pipe, gravity will reset, you'll get pulled straight down, it's over. But when you're exiting it like the way I am, you can just like float for a bit, you can launch yourself upward, it's really cool. A little shift boost here. So you do that by just tapping A at the right spot. Because you'll be lifting off due to the little slope that's right there. Seconds. Missed the setup, that's a shame. The way that setup works is you just kind of keep counting the boards that are above the track. You count one extra, and then like a tiny bit more, then you let go of the accelerator, and you go for the booster. Unfortunately, it is quite precise, like it's a pretty small range of speed that you need to have, as well as being in the right spots. Okay, let's not drive out. So now we're going a lot faster here, which means I might have to... Yeah, we're gonna skip that booster, and as a result, not be fast enough to get that shift boost. But again, I care about safety at the moment. Because God knows I'm gonna be stuck on Diamond Cup for a while. That was way too long. I'm gonna tap brake. And that almost worked too. That was actually so close. So right there it's faster to do the jump, because first of all you can do a dive, which is already a speed boost. And you can avoid that kind of like awkward turn. That looked dangerous, it wasn't really. Although it's always scary getting near the edge of the pipe, so you can always mess up, just instantly die. I'm surprised that works. But yeah, I'm not using up all my energy here, because these lasers do actually damage you. You wouldn't notice it normally, but if you're at 0 energy, it's an insta-kill. So we have one more track in Emerald Cup, and then it's on to my favorite, but also the scariest cup of them all. You will see when we get there why it's so scary. This track is also really cool, by the way. Shame it takes so long to load garage data. Ideally, I'd only have one memory card plugged in, but... I just realized I'm not using the BSG machine. What am I doing? I have a BSG machine, by the way. You'll start seeing that soon. No, the machine is actually pretty good, unlike the marathon itself. Look, we're managing, but like, let's be honest, this is not ideal. Okay, that did not go well. Okay, what was that? Okay, what are they saying? Are they mad at me? Oh my god. So, right here, if you spam TSs and side attacks, you can lift off just a tiny bit and get a shift boost, or double. There's always a chance of a double just from wobbling. Okay, let's give this a try. Okay, let's not try that again. I need to go backwards, because Gallant has terrible acceleration. And we need to be going fast enough to make this gap. I got to show the jump, though. I'm pretty satisfied with that, even if it turned out disastrous. That's a shame. So the idea was to not hit the waterfall, keep going to the left, and just land past the ramp. I overdid it just a tiny bit with that MTS. Sorry for that noise, by the way. I don't know what that was. May I remind you that I've been sick the past few days and I'm tired. But I couldn't sleep because like everybody's sick in the sleeping rooms. Okay. Oh yeah, there's actually an alternate song for Big Blue. This is the original GX song. There's also a cover of the F-Zero X version. Question mark? Regardless, it's really good, and I'm sad I didn't activate it. We're not doing that jump again, by the way. It's too risky. But yeah, this track is just really fun to play. There's so many opportunities for cool jumps and MTSs. Oh no, not at all. It's like top 10 for sure out of 26. There's a lot of good tracks. My favorites, I'm still torn between Cosmo Terminal Trident, which will be up next, or Serial Gaps. There's a few more fun tracks. This one might be top 5, actually. It's a shame I'm bad at it. Basically, any track where Ganon Star is optimal, it's a good track in my eyes. There's also a strat here that uses Quick Star, which is like a lot lighter, a lot more MTS-y, but it's not optimal. Although it can do a pretty cool jump. Can't really point out where it is, because we passed it already. Trust me when I say it's cool. Okay, so here is a suicide finish. Okay, that's meant to bounce you a lot faster. You're meant to get a lot of speed from those bounces. That did not work. But we made it, just barely. Oh my god. Okay, it's time. We're actually going to be using a different vehicle here, Heavy Star G4, which is very similar, but it uses a more heavy body. And it's pretty... That's Heartbanger. I need... Where is it? There it is. This one should have to be a Heat logo, right? No. I guess it's only on my Ganon Star. Heck. You'll see it in Dragon Slope then. So, this track is scary. I'm gonna do my best not to die. I'm gonna die. So if you think that's fast, you've seen nothing. This is safe stress, by the way. Could be going faster. Yeah. The track casually is like terrible, but with speed strats, it's like so much fun.
So much fun.
So much fun.
Again.
That's gonna happen more. I was so happy with how well that went, like gosh. So, you can only shift boost at certain parts, you kind of just have to play the track a lot to know where. Because the track rotates a lot. Which means if you exit the track at the wrong point, you can't really shift boost because your gravity will be normalized and you will just get pulled straight downward. Instead of keeping the angle that you had previously. That should not have happened, but somehow I managed to keep it under control. Pretty happy about that. So the best thing here is if you can keep a lot of speed here and then you enter the next lap at very high speed and you can just kind of keep it going. But this will work. That's the dumbest way to die. I'll try again with these strats. If it doesn't work out, I'll do less shift boost, which makes me very sad. This track is so boring without shift boosts. Okay, not gonna do one there. Now I'm so scared to do any of them. Oh god. And that's the worst thing you can do, because then you just whiff them, or you just mess them up even more. It's whatever though. At least I'll do the post-dive shift boost, because those are easy. Relatively, because if you have to downhill, so even if you're a bit late on, straight it back on. Oh my god, this is painful. Like, you won't die, because the track is going downhill with you. Thankfully, this machine has good grip. So you can just stick turn there, and you won't lose grip and lose control. It's so slow. Whatever, we're gonna boost. Maybe do one shift boost. Or two. I can't resist. It's a problem. It's too much fun. Oh god, that was almost bad. That's pretty fast. Just pure focus right here. Oh yeah, my PB would have finished like 10 seconds ago. So that's how crazy it is compared to what you do in a marathon. Okay, if I die now, I'm gonna be upset. You can actually start MTSing too early and just miss the walls. I've done that before. It's painful. But yeah, PB is like 141? Yeah, 141. This was 218, so, you know. But I'm happy I got to show it off. Still most happy with that first attempt. Okay, so if you didn't see enough shift boosting yet, here's some more shift boosting. This track is pretty much made for shift boosting. Even the staff ghost does it. Like, the developers knew about it, and they just left it in because it's a cool trick. Fortunately, the staff ghost isn't very good at it. It uses hyperspeeder, which has very mediocre shift boosts, and it doesn't use momentum throttle to keep the speed better. So it's very easy to just completely destroy its time. For this one, we're using Fat Shark instead of Gallant. Gonna be honest, I don't know why. It's still shift boosting, I guess. No, I actually have no idea. I just know that Fat Shark is better. Like, I've tried Gallant Star here. Not as fast. I couldn't tell you why. One thing about shift boost is that they get less powerful if you're in boost states, because that messes up your acceleration. And shift boosts are dependent on acceleration, weight, and another stats. I mean, I'm being very careful right there. If you're going over 1800 kilometers per hour, you fly off, which is actually a strat in snaking because you have a lot more air control. Although we are playing max speed, which I guess I should explain the difference, because a lot of people who know about this game know about snaking. The reason I'm not doing it is that it's absolute hell on your hands. So that's why they made a separate category for it, which they called max speed. So you're, wow. So you're just putting the slider at 100% max speed settings, which means you can't really benefit from snaking in any meaningful way. Which results in a more interesting playstyle for most people. Although snaking runs are super impressive. Just, you know, okay, snaking is right and R, left and L. A lot, like constantly, and sometimes you have to do it super fast. It's so painful. Like, if you have a wide track, you don't have to do it very fast, and then it's pretty doable. But then you have tracks like Cosmo Terminal Trident, where it's like you have 2 vehicle widths to like move around, and it's awful. Similarly, it's extremely difficult to snake on cylinders and pipes, because if you move too far out, you'll either lose grip, or on a cylinder, you'll lift off. And that'll just be disaster for your speed game. So hey, more shift boosting. Did I mention that I like Diamond Cup? Although it's not as much here. Those little bumps suck, they just absolutely destroy your speed. That was a failed shift boost. And we're gonna just avoid that dive entirely, because that dive has a weird like gravity field, and it actually slows you down compared to avoiding the gravity field and just taking the dive normally. There's a faster way to do it, where you kind of break out of or MTS before it, but I don't trust myself to do it at the moment. There's also one where you do break out of the gravity field, but that's usually better reserved for Gallant Star, one of those. They're very similar. There. Instead, I just kind of float to avoid the gravity field. Hopefully I'm not gonna die here. I might die here. I missed a jump blade, which not necessarily a bad thing, but then I stuck to the rail. The rails have their own gravity. You can drive on them. Sad thing is you take damage while you're doing that. So if you get stuck on the rail, you're pretty much doomed unless you can get off it pretty quickly. That's bad. You can actually hit those pipes. They have hitboxes. You'll fall straight down into the lava. That's happened to pretty much everybody who's speedrun this track. So a very safe undulation, but I'm not gonna say anything yet, actually. I don't trust myself. Could have still died right there. Suicide finish, because why not?
May I have time for a quick donation?
Yes, go ahead.
Alright, we have a €140 donation by Anonymous saying, now Deb. So, there are the Debs. With this, we also met the €6,000 of total donations by now, so thank you very much.
That was worth it. Look, this is my third dab ever. I tried.
I've never done one. Never.
Oh, you sellouts, only doing it for money.
Of course.
Oh, I need to update this actually. This is the old logo. But yeah, there's the BSG logo on the back and also on the sides. I also just really like this color scheme, like the off-white and then the fiery booster. It's kind of like the style I've been using, except I've been using a different custom vehicle. So, side effect dives, have I mentioned them? I've also done them in 4-time aero dive. What are you doing? I'm scared. Oh. I wish I could have seen that. So with side attack dives, like I said before, you get a lot of speed from doing side attacks, even more so when you're diving. That's kind of it. You don't really spam side attacks, you can only do them once every 8 frames. So that's like 7.5 side attacks per second. I'm ruining this moment for you, aren't I? But yeah, side attack dives do extend your airtime by quite a bit, so it's not actually ideal to do them in every case. But yeah, they're pretty good. What are you gonna do now? Oh my god. Oh. Thought you were gonna go for another one. Like you enjoyed it so much you just can't get enough. Why is everybody leaving me? Ah. Yeah, for the end of that dive, I just kind of boost straight downward. Because it decreases my airtime, which means I land sooner, which is faster. But that's about it. Okay! So yeah, this part of the track's at a bit of a weird angle, which means that can happen. I wasn't meant to hit that right wall. I just wanted to do the MTS into the jump. Oh, hey, Snake. The one time I look over at chat and it's freaking Snake right there. Hi. God, I really hope my voice isn't too dead for tomorrow. I'm gonna be running 2 more games. Another F-Zero game and Fast RMX. Which is inspired by F-Zero, so I thought it was fitting. Alright, let's do this again, without losing 2 minutes because of dying. That's my... Ooh, time is not looking great, but... Estimates is pretty safe. That's a better dive, it's still not ideal. Awesome, thank you guys. Oh my goodness. So yeah, the other games, Fast RMX is on the Switch. F-Zero Climax was the final GBA game, or the final F-Zero game to ever be released. It was released on the GBA, only in Japan. Install your laptop. What else does it look like? But yeah, F-Zero Climax is one of the 2D games, but it's like, it takes some inspiration from GX. It's actually like super fast-paced and super fun. So, if you've never seen it before, which I reckon you haven't, because, you know, being Japan only, I would recommend checking it out. Hopefully I'll do well. I'm gonna be practicing that a lot. I've already mainly been practicing that. I figured my GX skills would be okay if I just warm up a bit. I didn't warm up before the run. I was actually sitting at the tech station for a bit. Oh yeah, shoutouts to Kuro for letting me use this GameCube, because I didn't want to bring my own, because I've already got enough stuff with me. Ow, ow, please don't die again. Go for not dying here. There we go. Decent dive. I need some water. Good menuing right there. Alright, what am I gonna do here? Gallant. Who cares? Let's go more Gallant. This is Gallant Cup. Gallant is like super difficult to use here though, so... Not the smartest choice, but it's the one I'm most familiar with on this track. I hope I can show off the jump, because there's 1/2 really cool jumps. Well, one of them is not very cool, but it's you need the one to get the cool jump. So let's hope we manage.
Do I have time for a donation?
Yes, go ahead.
Alright, we have a 10 euro donation from Anonymous. Needed to do something before heading off to bed and saw this was going on with F-Zero GX, my favorite game in the series. Props to all of you doing this for a great cause. Donation to make the dragon as the Earth Gift Shrine boss. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So yes, as you can see, this track is very thin, which means it's hard not to hit walls, especially with Gallant Star. Like with just stick turning, it doesn't make the turn, so you need to do quick turns, but you need to do tiny quick turns. If you quick turn too much, you hit the other wall. It's kind of a pain. But yeah, you almost saw the jump there. Well, you saw the first jump, you didn't see the second one. I'll give it another try, because like, if I can get it, that's like awesome. I didn't even get the first jump. So, I'll give it one more try. After that, I'll just explain what's meant to happen. And you can all be sad about what you missed out on. Or you can watch the IL world record and watch it being done better. Which I would recommend doing for all these tracks, to be honest. Like, IL strats are insane. Then you'll be judging me for doing worse. Oh yeah, if you go too fast there, you'll lift off. And that's almost guaranteed death. Although the CPU can survive it if you're playing Grand Prix mode, they cheat. Because of course they do, it's F-Zero. Yes! That is the cool jump. So that saves like, I don't know, 2 or 3 seconds. It looks cool, that's why I do it. So the idea is that you use the slope physics, or the glitch slope physics specifically, to kind of like grind against the wall, and the game will automatically like make you hit the wall properly at the right point, and then you just kind of jump up, and you have to avoid the track that I jumped over. If you hit that part of the track, you explode. Because you'd be skipping too far ahead in the track. So that is Diamond Cup finally done. We have some time left. This is Screwdriver. Okay, I'm gonna try to use Quick Start here just so you've seen it. I'm terrible at it. It's gonna be a disaster. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's go for this one. So as you can see, it is a lot lighter. It has an E-rated body. It says no bully on the wings because this machine is a cheat star and it gets bullied a lot for being a cheat machine. It's just a joke, by the way. Some people don't like this vehicle very much, but it is totally legitimate to use. So you'll see some more crazy MTSs here. This track is just like so perfectly suited for Quick Start that I can't not use it even if I'm terrible. There's also the suicide finish, which is almost impossible with Gallant Star. We still want to be boosting instead of MTS chaining for the most parts. Though there's definitely some turns that are better off being MTS. So I hope my boost management is right so I can do the suicide finish because it is amazing. The suicide finish has gotten the name Pizza Finish because at one of the GDQs, I think like Laria offered a pizza to someone if they made it first try, which I didn't. I had to walk too late, which meant I went too far to the left, and I got too little height. Otherwise, I would just be heading straight to the finish line. Kind of want to try it again. We have some time left on the estimates. We're filling time anyway, because runs have been dropping out. That's not exactly how I meant to do that, but that's okay. Gonna try one more time. I want to get that finish. Although if you get a second try, you don't get the pizza, so that's kind of a shame. Yeah, this vehicle being a lot lighter also suffers from a lower top speed, lower boost speed. Okay, come on. That's actually kind of low on energy. Nope. Shame. You meant to bounce over that rail. It helps to be in boost state, but I was too low on energy to be in boost state upon exploding. So, we're gonna do this track normally. We're at 1 minute. So if you were to do this run ideally, you'd be using this vehicle a lot more, a lot better. But it's just a pain to use physically as well. MTS chaining can be very hard on the hands because you're constantly like squeezing the shoulder buttons and you're just putting a lot of pressure on the controller. Feels so bad not doing the suicide finish here though. Oh, there's also some MTS into shift boost you can do here. Like you will have seen me lift off right there, just like a tiny bit. If you do it in the right way, you'll get a nice speed boost from it. Hi Nandi, welcome back. Ranked 5th place, that's how much I play this track. I don't know how that happened, honestly. PB is a lot better than that. I just don't have a lot of good top 10 times. Outer Space Meteor Stream. This is another one of my top 5 favorites. It's hard to do consistently. Like, there's a lot of... I'm using the wrong vehicle thing. There we go. There's a lot of MTS into shift boost you can do, or just general shift boosts, but it's so precise. So this track is also kind of called a shift boost lottery, because you have to kind of get lucky to be in the right place at the right speed. Yeah, it's all difficult. I just realized I could have put the TAS showcase incentive, because there's a TAS of this track and a few more. They're absolutely bonkers, because you can just shift boost pretty much everywhere by just throwing your vehicle off balance. And yeah, you kind of just go for it. So shift boosting, chaining together. It's freaking insane. Okay, there's one MTS into shift boost, although I didn't handle that very well. So rather than relying on MTS into shift boost, sometimes I kind of just like to keep chaining MTSs. Like here, I could go for that, which I got, and then I messed up slightly, but that's not too bad at all. Or you can just kind of keep chaining. You'll get a lower speed than if you got the shift boost, but it's a lot more consistent than trying to get the shift boost. So this lift off here is a nice little setup for that MTS into shift boost, which I did actually get once again, but then I ruined my speed by MTS chaining, and this is kind of... Am I going to be fast enough to do a suicide finish? I think I should be okay. There we go. So we just launch yourself backwards at 4,000 kilometers per hour, because you hit the wall mid MTS, which gives you a lot of speed, and then you just bounce in the opposite direction with basically the same speed. Very, very easy, but useful suicide finish. You do need sleep. You've been here for a while.
Do I have time for another donation?
Yes, feel free to, because this track is boring.
Okay, wonderful. We've got a €26 donation from Snake Lancer saying, wish you all a fun time at BSG, and hopefully I'll be able to attend next year. Shout out to Felicia. Sent by Notice Me, Snack. Thank you very much for the donation.
You have been noticed, Snack. So, yeah, I mentioned this track before. It's another cylinder track. Cylinders just kind of work very interestingly in this game. I don't know. It's not very interesting, unless you're very good at it. But even then, it's not... It's one of the more boring tracks, I would say. Yeah, also this looked pretty cool. I kind of just squeezed myself in there and get a double shift boost. Unfortunately, I lost control. But thankfully, cylinders are very strong. You can, like, barely break off of them. And you can fly like super far away from the cylinder and still be pulled back onto it. And yeah, cylinder physics. If you go over one of those like, because this is kind of like a flat cylinder, kind of. So if you go between the two sides, sort of, then things can go badly. So there's also a little weird part of the track where you can get a shift boost right there. Unfortunately, I lifted off just a tiny bit too much. Now you also can't really MTS on a cylinder, otherwise I would have MTS right there, but it just doesn't quite work with the physics. Also, that booster in the middle is freaking evil. I managed to break off of the cylinder. I'm impressed. Yes, this game is on GameCube. It runs wonderfully as well. Consistent 60 FPS while also looking amazing. How are we doing on time? That's... I actually meant to put my estimate at 125, which would have been a problem. But since it's at 135, we're fine. So just set a better or a higher estimate and you'll always go under. Hey, we get to see this cool squeeze shift boost again. There we go. Handled it better too. Like that is a very good squeeze shift boost. I'm gonna try to stay on the top of the cylinder. That way I can just quick turn to keep myself in place. Whereas if you're on the inside of the cylinder, like turn, you can very easily just like get slightly too far to the side and then you'll break loose for just a moment. Spin out. My voice is actually gonna be dead for tomorrow. Rip. Normally I wouldn't go there on a boost lap, but I can't boost quite as much because I missed a refill, I think, or I just boosted too much, I don't remember. But yeah, normally you don't want to like switch to the underside right there, because just switching sides can really mess you up if you're going at that speed, and that's like a pretty sharp like switch. If that makes any sense? I hope that makes any sense. Yeah, I mean, at that point, like, there's not much you can do. It's just kind of go straight forward. Okay, let's menu to the next track and then take another sip of water. Stay hydrated. Oh, Thunder Road, another very good track. I feel like I'm gonna put too many tracks in my top 5 and it's not gonna be a top 5 anymore. But this is also in my top 5. Snake, please. Inappropriate. Besides, I would be impressed if you can fit 2 people in these shower stalls. It would not be a comfortable shower. So yeah, there's just a lot of MTS chaining going on this track. Also a cool skip you can do here. You can do it on lap 1 for the most part. Oh my god, there's a Nandi looking at me through the window. That... I don't know how to feel about this. Nandi, go to sleep, please. Oh my god. Actually losing his mind. Finally happens. For real though, shout out to Nandi for hosting for the past couple hours. So now we have boost power. This part kind of sucks. It's like a slight turn to it. If you hit a wall, that kind of sucks, as you would expect. Neat little jump here. Nope, I hit the wall. I slowed down too much. So easy as well, but you'll see it on that 3. Once again, very thin path, but you have to be turning. That worked out super well. That didn't. So right here, if you just drive and boost over these humps, you can sometimes get a shift boost. That lifted me off a bit too much, unfortunately. This track also has a super cool suicide finish where you just MTS into the left wall there, and you just like bounce all, like you don't really bounce, but you just like, off of that one wall hit, you'll fly way up in the air, all the way back to the finish line. Instead, we're just gonna do a very satisfying rail slide. You know, I'm gonna be happy when I'm back at Tech Station and I don't have to talk anymore. Heck. One interesting thing about this game, or about this game and F-Zero AX, which is its arcade counterpart, which this cup is based off of. That game only has 6 tracks. It also has very different physics, so if that would have happened in AX, I would have just like bounced off of... Ooh, that was a lot of speed. I would have just like bounced off like at a very high speed, and it's... like if you're emptying, you'll just like keep bouncing off of it until you eventually slow down enough. Anyway, rail slide. You can very easily just like ease into it because of the way it turns.
Can I read out another donation?
Yes, go ahead.
Alright. We've got €5 donation from Just saying donation goes towards Mitchie's dabbing. Thank you very much for the donation.
Thank you. Andy, oh my god, he's dabbing out the window. Freaking madman. Andy, come dab on stream. People can't see that. Come on now.
Can I take one other moment for a donation?
I'm gonna quickly go over this skip and then you can go ahead.
Yes.
So, oh my god, it's almost showing them now. So, there's a jump you can do here. It's kind of precise. It kind of works on barely not skipping too much of the track and not being too far to the left. It's also about not going too low, otherwise you miss a checkpoint in the air that you need to hit. If you go too high, you'll just fly over. It's very precise. It saves like 3 seconds. I'm not gonna do it on lap 1, but ideally you would do it on every lap. So let's try this again. There we go. And now you can read out the donation.
Alright, thank you very much. We've got a €1 donation from Nils saying, Nandi, go to sleep.
I agree with this man.
Thank you very much for the donation.
Yeah, right here, this track is mostly just like TS chaining, MTS chaining. Why is this happening to me? To be fair, I participated, so can't be too upset. But yeah, this vehicle actually has a world record, but a lot of people use Quick Start because it's a lot easier to get a good time with it. This one kind of relies on getting some very precise like shift boosts and spiral skip, which I hope to get to show off at least once because it's super cool. It's also very difficult and I might just die upon landing if it goes badly. This track is also like super long, just like Thunder Road was just now. Yeah, this is one of my less favorite tracks for sure, although it's still like really cool when done well. I'm just bad at it. This MTS is nice though when you don't mess it up. You just like hold it for that entire like feint turn. Oh my god.
Can I read out another donation?
Yes, feel free to.
Alright. We've got a 10 euro donation from Novaura saying, so much fun to see F-Zero GX. Need to do a troll moment here, so this donation goes to making Maxim's name in Lufiatsu F-Zero. Thank you very much.
F-Zero. Oh yes. Alright, so this is kind of slow. I have one more chance to get Spiral Skip. It's so cool, I really want to get to show it off, but it relies on going like fast enough at the start of the Spiral. If you have more donations, keep them coming, because I'm just kind of talking. I think they need to be processed first, so... Okay, I need to not look away from the screen, actually. Okay. I'm looking away from the screen, I just... Okay. So, there's one more track after this, which is actually, like, by far the easiest track in this game. It was the first track in F-Zero AX, but it is the final track of the AX Cup in F-Zero GX. I'm not entirely sure why. It's like, it's nothing special to unlock AX or Sonic Oval. That's a shift boost, so that's good. Spiral Skip, let's go. Heck! I think I went to the right too soon, which made me miss a checkpoint. That's what it's meant to look like without the explosion. Good thing my estimate is 135. But yeah, it's such a cool skip, and you don't need the double shift boost to get it, but it definitely does help a lot. Yes, thank you for the reminder. Oh gosh. Gravity. Yeah, it's your fault, not just this game. Gravity is interesting. Like, it's kind of determined by the bottom of your machine, and sometimes you can kind of hold weird gravity. Sometimes it'll instantly like reset to like normal, like falling straight down. Sometimes you'll hold straight like weird gravity, and you'll do a spiral dive, and that's kind of, it can be useful. Usually it's not. But you really do just like spiral out of control. On Green Fan Spiral. Coincidence. I'm hitting so many walls. I'm upset. To be fair, that's kind of what you expect from MTS heavy gameplay. If you're going back and forth so much, and if you extend one MTS just a bit too much, there's a wall in your way. Alright, let's go for this again. Should I try Spiral Skip again? If I mess it up, then it's kind of unfortunate. I guess you've seen what it looks like. I probably shouldn't take the risk. I've taken enough risks this run. So, this MTS, very satisfying. Just like, generally, extended MTSs are very, very nice. If you extend an MTS for too long, you will start losing speed eventually, but for that length, it is actually very good. I'm so tempted to go for it, but I shouldn't. Just gonna do this pretty fast too. Especially since I managed to keep the speed very well. Okay, let's do that again. I'm kind of running out of stuff to say. I'm getting more and more tired, so excuse the lack of commentary at this part. Yes, the host, even if there's not any donations, we can go ahead and talk about sponsors.
Yes. Now for a quick word about our sponsor ViewSonic, who supports the event with several monitors for the streaming area, as well as several practice monitors, obviously with minimal latency for speed and accuracy. They simply understand gamers and want to show their support to continue BSG and to spread the love to gamers in Europe.
Hey guys, I've almost finished the track. I was gonna do a rail slide there, but that didn't work out. What is going on in chats? I mean, I guess Snake is going on in chats. Are they? Depends who you want to shout out, I guess. Oh, actually, let's go ahead and use Hardbanger, the best vehicle. Look at this beauty right here. Doesn't it look amazing? Manliest machine, driven by the most manly pilots. So this thing is kind of a meme within the community. It's like the heaviest machine you can make without the action replay parts. I can't really see the emotes. That's a shame. Yeah, it doesn't break grip ever. It doesn't turn like at all, so you kind of need to be doing this. You just spam side attacks and then you spam the shoulder buttons to kind of loosen your grip, but not really like lose your grip. It's an interesting experience, honestly. Time is coming up after the final lap, by the way, as this is the final track. Hardbanger also can't quick turn until it reaches a certain speed, because it just can't get the grip into a weakened state that's required for quick turning. I mean, look at that boost speed though, that's pretty good. Like, this thing's a beast. It actually holds one fast lap record, like one lap world record. Oh, time in 3, 2, 1, time. Gosh. What a disaster. It's fun though, it's always fun to show off this game. If you want me to fill more time, I can show off snaking real quick. No? Alright. Then we'll just move on to the next game. So thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for having me. I'm gonna go hide behind the tech station and drink like a gallon of water. A liter of water. I don't know which is more. I don't use Imperial units. 2.5? I don't know. Could be. Anyway, enjoy the next run, which will be Mario Kart Wii by Nandi.